Tiffany here from the Peterborough Chamber of Commerce. Of course, you are joining us today for our speaker series, and we've invited Kellen Sewell from rPM3 Solutions. Kellen, my friend, welcome.
Thank you, Tiffany. Nice to be here.
So nice to have you. I know you're a big LinkedIn fan. You've done lots of work to build your network. You've got 10,000 followers, and you're here today to share maybe some tips, some tricks. There are some polling questions as well, so watch for those throughout. Get your answers in, and I'm going to turn my camera off and get me off of the screen, and I'm going to turn it right over to you, Kellen.
Okay, thank you very much, Tiffany. Welcome, everybody. We're going to talk about kind of two things today. We're going to talk about the personal page, and we're going to talk about a company page on LinkedIn. I run both of ours for our company, my personal page and the company page, and they've been growing over the last little while. And to start things off, Tiffany, if you're ready for the first polling question, one of the questions I'd like to ask everybody who's here is, how much time do you spend on LinkedIn every day? We're starting to get some answers come in. Okay, we got most of the people have answered less than 5 minutes. So Tiffany, if you want to end that poll. There we go, and share the results. Yeah, everybody's spending less than 5 minutes a day on LinkedIn. All right. Just to give a little context, for myself, I use LinkedIn as a lead generation tool. So I'm on it for at least an hour a day, 7 days a week, is what it works out to, and that's what it takes in order to be active on it. And it's my main lead generation tool that I'm using, so that's why I spend a lot of time on it. Also, one of the other things that I have to mention is that my focus is business to business and not business to consumer. I have tried other social media outlets. I have a very active Instagram account. If anybody likes sailing and wants to follow that, that's what we do on that one. We've tried Facebook, but since we're not business to consumers, then Facebook really doesn't get much traction for us at all, and this is why I've continued to work with LinkedIn. So yeah, a lot of people use it for business communication. A lot of people use it for finding a new position for when they're ready to do a job search, marketing, promotion. I'm surprised we only have one person on that, but that's a lot of what I do through our company page, is all marketing and promotion. Lead generation is then done through my personal account on that. So down to the nitty gritty of it. Your personal page on LinkedIn, let's start there. This is my personal page. This is what I look at every day. Couple of things to note on here is that I have a lot of profile views, and this is the profile views over the last 6 months. Or no, not 6 months, 90 days. 90 days is what they do it over. So when you look at this number, because I do a lot of outreach and I do a lot of messaging, then I have a lot of people that are looking at my account every day. So 1,400 people in the last 90 days. It's an interesting number. It's one that I always like to watch to see where it's going and what's happening with it. And then if we look at let me just go into my profile here, actually go in and see, this is behind the scenes look at the profile. Hope everybody can see my screen. So what I've found with LinkedIn over the past little while is that this number of connections right underneath your name, this seems to be a magic number that things happen once you hit 500. Once you get over 500, It seems to be easier. People are more willing to accept connection requests. Also on my profile, I'm not looking for recruiters. I'm not looking for jobs. So this space here is left blank. I just look at the providing of the services. Here's my private dashboards. You can see the profile views. Here's the views of my last post that I did just yesterday, and how many times I appear in search appearances. But as you can see, I'm not quite at 10,000, getting there. I gain about 150 to 200 followers every single month. I'm currently at just over 9,300 followers. You can see a bit of the activity, and then from there on, it goes down to what to everything else on the account. So one thing to notice is I have this little gold LinkedIn symbol here on the corner of my profile, and this means that I have a paid account. This is one of the areas that I used to get confused at when I'd go to these seminars, and people would be talking about this account as if it was a non-paid account, but I actually have a paid account, which means I've signed up for Sales Navigator, and this gives me expanded search capabilities. It gives me expanded messaging capabilities. And on average, I target about 2,000 messages a month that go out from my account. And this is kind of the work that goes into building an account like this. But I'd like to stop for just a second here and let everybody know that I use a service to do all of this work for me. I pay for it on the side, not through LinkedIn. I hired an organization to do this for me, and but I know other people. I know two other people for sure that have both had great success at building their accounts, and they've used different methods. So what I tell you today is what I have done, but I do know other people. There's a member of the chamber that has grown his account from 500 accounts or 500 connections all the way to over 8,000 connections. And he used a model of engagement. So again, spending lots of time on LinkedIn, making comments on people's posts, people commenting back, also people sending him connection requests because of those comments. And that's how he's grown his network up into the 5,000 range, or five-figure range on it. And so the next I have another example where I have someone who built their account by constantly posting. This person posts every single day. She usually posts a selfie with an inspirational message that is attached to it. She started doing that a few years ago and has now over 30,000 followers on her account. One of the things that LinkedIn does is once you reach around 15,000, they won't let you have any more connections, but you will get followers. People can still follow you. So they get to see your content, but they can't really email you back and forth in LinkedIn because you're not a #1 connection with them. So Tiffany, are you ready for the next? Let me just stop sharing here for a second. Oh, here's a question. Oh, thank you very much, Kim. What is the cost of a paid account? So I went with a LinkedIn Sales Navigator account, and it costs me $90 a month is what it costs me. But that gives Sales Navigator plus all the extra accessibility that comes with that, the ability to send direct emails to people that are not connected to me. So it's another way of reaching out and connecting with more people rather than just sending them a request. So yeah, so 3 different ways that I've seen work is the outbound connection requests, which is kind of what I've done. Engagement, which I've seen other people do, takes a lot of work, a lot of time, but it can be very effective, and you then get a network that is very active on LinkedIn. And the third method was posting. It's how you go about it. You know, what do you want to do? I've also tried the posting method. One year I did 250 posts approximately in a year. Got some traction on it, but it just wasn't growing fast enough. So this is why I went for a more upgraded approach on it. This is what I'm after. I was after getting that big growth, and also the fact of that I do business worldwide. So it's a nice, easy way to link out, to get linked with a lot of people and reach markets, especially during COVID. I'm sad to say that actually COVID has helped my business because people were more willing and accepting of uh, doing video calls and doing video chats. So thank you very much, Kim, for the question. If anybody else has any questions as we go along, please enter them into the chat. And I have my chat open so that I can hopefully see them right away, and we'll get them answered for you. So one thing I like about a business page versus a personal page will give you a lot of information, and it will give you some analytics. It will tell you how many people have viewed your posts. It will tell you, once you get over certain numbers, it will tell you where they are, what positions they hold. So it gives you an idea, but it really doesn't expand upon what is available with a company account. And the company account, it really expands the opportunities to target your audience, to know what effect that your posts are having. And you can actually see, am I reaching the right people? Are they interacting with my posts? Am I getting clicks on it? Am I getting views on it? Am I getting comments on it? All these sort of things. One of the actual sorry, let me just back up a second. The 2 metrics that I really look at are the number of impressions and the engagement rate. And I find that everything else is just a function of those 2 metrics that I watch. So I'm always looking to boost the number of people that are seeing a post, as well as getting them to engage in it in some way, whether it's by putting a like on the post, putting a comment on the post, these sort of things. Here we are, back at my page again. And what I want to do is go into my posts. Just to give you a quick example, you can see all my activity here. And so here's the post for today's one. Down here on the bottom, you can see what is the results. So we've had 294 views of this post, and this is the kind of information that it brings up for me. So you can see that, you know, this post was seen in Toronto quite well, Vancouver, Montreal. Open it up a little bit more here. Calgary, British Columbia, United Kingdom. And you can see the people that I'm reaching, as well as the companies that they're working for. So it's a nice way to get a little bit of information, but when you move to a company account, then the, oh, hang on a second here. Just got it all set up here. When you move to the company account, this knowledge or information that you have available to you is much greater, much greater. Just come up. So this is the behind the scenes view of the company page. Zoom is a little slow today. So with a company page, some of the analytics are starting to come up here now. I can see what I'm doing for number of visitors, how many new followers I've had, how many post impressions I'm doing, how many custom button clicks I'm getting. Custom button clicks. This is when you go to the page and it says visit the website. That is what they call a custom button click. So in the past 30 days, I've had 34 people go and visit my website from my LinkedIn activity. And this is all on the company page. I wanted to share an interesting observation that I've made over the last little while. I'm going to just change. I'm just going to change this chart to the last 12 months. Hopefully everybody can see this. Tiffany, can you confirm for me that you can see this?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is the last 12 months, and you can see that back in June of last year, 795 impressions for that month versus last month where I had 2,770. And you'll notice a big change in November, October, December. Right in this area is we made a change in what we were doing for our marketing. So anybody who's doing marketing on social media, the big change here is we went from static posts to videos. So every single post that we do now includes a video, whether it's an 8-second video or whether it's a 3-minute video. Every single post has a video. And the effect that it has on the account is that I've been averaging somewhere around 3,000 impressions every single month. And it was quite interesting to see that as to how that changed over the last little while. So these are some of the analytics that a business account will give you, or a business or company page will give you, that you don't see on your personal page. And one of the other items that I wanted to show today, which I found very interesting, is visitors. And I'm going to do this over the 12 months again as well. Just a second while I get this set up. So I found this a really interesting look at it as to where people are coming from. And all during the pandemic, you can see people working from home and more views from the desktop, which is the blue line, as opposed to the gold line, which is mobile. And here we are, everybody's getting ready for the, opening up of COVID and getting back to life at normal, and everybody is back on their phones, where you can see a definite increase in the number of mobile users who are looking at social media on their phone as opposed to doing it on their desktop. It looks like everybody just had to get back outside and get back on their phones. So it's an interesting information as to what you're doing for your marketing. How are you doing your marketing, and what posts are you putting out there so that people will stop and look at your post while they're on their phone, because everybody has a tendency to flip through their posts very quickly, and you really need something eye-catching in order to make them stop and get their attention. And so this is an interesting graphic to look at to see how the changes have been made. And prior to COVID, mobile was higher as well. So when the lockdown came, everybody went to their desktops. And then now that the lockdown is releasing up a bit, everybody's going back to their phones. So it's an interesting item to watch for when you're doing your posting. Tiffany, does the chamber take this into account?
I believe so, yep.
Okay, good. Good to hear. Good to hear. So this account, we're currently at around 1,400 people following it. When I started it, it had 8. And that was about a year and a half ago when I started building this account. One of the things that, let me go to the home page here for a second. This is kind of a trick to help build your company page as opposed to your personal page. So right here on your company page, invite connections to follow. It says 35 out of 100. So every month you're allowed 100 people that you can send out an invite to follow your company page. One of the strategies that we use is that we make sure that that is close to 0 out of 100 as possible by the end of the month. When you send out an invite and somebody accepts it, then you get a credit back. So you could actually send out more than 100 followers every single month. And right now we average somewhere between 30 and 40 new followers to our company page every single month. But again, this requires work on the account and it takes that time to go through it. So how to get a company page and a personal page to work together. These invite connections come from the connections of your personal page. If you're an administrator on the account, then you can go in and you have basically access to your own connections that you can then use to invite to follow your company page. For us, we have 2 or 3 people that are actually administrators on our page. So instead of just my 9,300 connections, we have mine plus the other 2 people. So we have access to a lot more connections that we can make sure that we're constantly sending out invitations. That's how you're going to get people to follow your account and to build it up. But it does take work and it does take time. Tiffany, the last question that we have for polling, do you have a company account? Wow, that's great. I see the results coming in here. I think we've got everybody, and the overall majority is yes, you have a company account. Everybody can now see that. So that's good. For us, you know, having a company account, because we're B2B, this is where we need to focus. And also for us, we're a software company. We have a software product that we're selling. And if we ever wanted to exit the company, then there is still value in having that company account instead of our own personal account. I know a number of consultants that I have conversations with, and we always like to talk about, do you have a personal page? Do you promote your personal page, or do you promote your company account page? And for us, the decision has been, let's promote the company account page, because then when you go on one of the posts, hang on a second here, let's just slide down and take a little look here. So you can see I get really good engagement, 7 likes, couple of comments, and all these numbers are up and up and up. 11 posts, and we can actually look at some of these. Let's look at the last 3. No, I haven't finished loading in a second. Hang on. Let me refresh my page while the internet catches up with us. There we go. So you can see how many reactions I got, how many comments I got, how many shares I got. You can look at the engagement rates overall. For myself, I'm happy with anything with an engagement rate of over 4%. Also, this CTR, that's click-through rate. So every post that goes out, we have about 4 basic things. We have a video that's attached to it. We have a description that's written for the video. We have a call to action, and we have specific hashtags that we're putting on it. So those are the 4 components of each post that we do. And the call to action this is where I'm getting my click-through rate. So from this post that I made the other day, I've actually had 5 people click on the link and go and visit where I was sending them to, which in this case was our website. And you may notice that these video numbers here, the number of views, this is the number of views of the video, people who've watched it for more than 3 seconds. You can then click on this blue link and go in and see the analytics for just that video. How many people saw it. You can see the weekly performance. This is a new one, so it's just up. But again, similar to your own personal posts, you can see where the people are. So what I got? India, Austin, Texas, Netherlands, United Kingdom, New York, Baltimore, and then most of the people from Toronto, of course. We have a very strong network across Canada. We're going to look at how you post your picture. So this is on the personal page. Wait for it to load in. The internet is being slow for me today. So when you go into view your profile, you have the ability to edit. So these little marks here on the edit. So this one is for this section down below. This one is for up above, and it will be in here is where you're going in to post your picture. I hope that answers your question on it. Tiffany, was there another question as well?
I just messaged Richard to see if he wanted me to ask his question because I didn't see one come in the chat yet. And oh, there it is. He just put in the Q&A. For the analytic people that visited the posting, i.e. countries, is there a way to identify who that was so you can reach out to them?
No. No, LinkedIn doesn't give you that ability. So hopefully they put a like on it, and this is why engagement is really important. And if you can get people to comment on it, people to put a like on it, then you can see who has interacted with your post. But for people, just where it's going and who's getting to see it, that is all part of the secret LinkedIn algorithm. Oh, and I guess I should have mentioned this at the beginning. I have no connection to LinkedIn at all. I am just a user. I pay for their service. I do not promote them. I have no connection with them whatsoever. So it's working out a strategy, getting your 2 pages to work together. Since most of the people on the program here have 2 pages, they have a company page and they have a personal page. You need to make that decision as to where are you going to get the best bang for your buck on it. Is it with my company page or is it with my personal page? And if you really want to drive your business, then you need to be sending out lots of messages. You need to be sending out connection requests. You need to be engaged on it. Um, One of the things that I heard a long time ago was, the secret of success or the secret of sales was give, give, give. Give 3 times before you expect something coming back. So basically, you're out there doing posts, you're making comments with no expectation other than cheering somebody on and helping them promote their own business. I know for one of my connections that I have, that is a lot of what he did. He went, made a lot of comments, talked to a lot of people, and they in turn then sent him connection requests. So he was able to grow his number of connections in reverse by having people send him connection requests as opposed to him trying to reach out to a large number of people. Okay, let's go back to the company page here for a second. There's a lot of stuff that can go on here. You can see activity. It'll tell you a notification of when things happen, when people tag you. So the Peterborough Chamber, they tagged me in their post. They actually put at rPM3, and then it came up with our name. They clicked on that, put it into their description of what was going on today, and I got a notification on it in the company account, so that I can then click on this notice, go to it, and I then put a like on it from the company page as opposed to my personal page. So it's a nice way to then gain 2 likes out of a post where you would normally only get 1, because now I've done once with the company page, and then I go in with my personal account and also find that post and put a like on it. It's a nice way to build activity on your posts and get engagement. One of the things I've found with LinkedIn is that when you do a post, they do not send it out to everybody. They only send it out to like 5 or 10% of your accounts or your connections. How they choose those connections, that's all part of their secret algorithm that they do. But as your post gets activity from other people, then they start to share it more and more and more. So if somebody puts a like on your post, then, LinkedIn might send it out to 5% of their connections. How you're going to gain traction and build your marketing efforts through LinkedIn is by doing all those posts and making sure that you're getting the engagement on it. So that's one of the standard things that we do, is that when we do a post on our company page, is I will put in a comment down below, not in the bulk of the post. I will put in the comment. I will tag everybody in the company so that they now get a notification and they can go in and put a like on it. And then that helps build engagement. It's a nice way to kind of trick LinkedIn to saying, hey, there's more activity on this post than we thought. Let's spread it around some more. Okay, let's see. Are there any other questions? Kind of running out of stuff to show and talk about. If anybody has anything in particular that they'd like to see, certainly willing to show it on my account here, and you can see all the differences and what you have on it. Tiffany, who does the Peterborough Chamber LinkedIn?
We share it. So we kind of have shared responsibilities. If it's events, then I'm usually doing it. Policy will be Joel. Shelby takes on a good chunk of it, and Stu as well.
Okay. One trick also I've learned for gaining connections to people, don't just send them a connection notice without sending a note. Do a personalized note to everyone that you send it out on. That really makes a big difference in getting people to accept your connection requests. Were there a couple more questions? I thought I saw it pop up.
No, Nope, looks good. Questions have all been answered and nothing in the chat there.
Okay. Let me just think of some other tricks and tips that we have. Oh, I see it keeps popping up on me. So
Yes, Kim just asked, how do you not overwhelm your connections?
so we have a schedule. Once we make a connection with somebody, then we might be part of my lead generation is that I'm going to send them a message, a quick little message saying, hey, would you like to have a 15-minute chat? Get to know each other, see if there's, opportunities for us, that sort of thing. And then if we don't get any response, then we usually about once a month, we have a number of follow-up messages that we send out to everybody. And we keep pinging them for up to 12 months. And we find that usually after about 4 or 5 messages, you'll get a response. They'll say, hey, yeah, okay, let's have a chat. Or they'll say, please stop sending me messages. And we say, okay, that's fine. And we take them off the list. Hopefully that answers the question for Kim. And we have a fairly not a fairly busy posting schedule. I mean, I like to post once a week on the company account, which is not too bad. And usually every second Friday, we might do a longer video. Okay, another question coming in. How do you create a business page? Well, I have to let you know that I did not create this page. It was already in existence when I took it over. And I would have to look that up. I'm sure you can Google it. But yeah, a business page is very helpful, for sure. But it does take a lot of time to rebuild everything. Sorry, Diane, I can't answer that question for you. All right, some of the other tricks that we have. Let's see. Go back onto the personal page here for a minute. Having a good background picture is really good. Makes you stand out. One of the other tricks that I also learned, I have a couple of people that I follow on LinkedIn. One is by the name of Bruce Johnson, who puts out a newsletter every Tuesday, and he has lots of information and tips that he gives away for helping you build your LinkedIn account, helping you build your engagement on it. I also follow another person out of the UK. Her name is Charlie Wyman, and she has been very helpful with the free seminars that she's given. And I've been able to make some changes on my personal account, which have really helped quite a bit as well. One of the changes that I made early on, thanks to Charlie, was because I don't put my position up here underneath my name. Most of the profiles that you'll see on LinkedIn, they will say, oh, I'm the account manager, or I'm whatever, the CEO, doesn't really matter. But they put their position in there. Whereas if you actually change that and put what you do or how you help out, how you provide value, it makes a much more powerful impact on people when they're looking at your LinkedIn profile to say, oh, hey, yeah, I know what this guy does. He's in risk. So you're either going to be having that conversation with me, or you're not concerned about it, and you'll be moving on. So it was a nice little way to make sure that you get to stand out on your LinkedIn profile. Oh, a good question from Kim. What style of messages get traction, personal or lifestyle? We find that a lot of the personal connections. I mean, one of the best posts that we ever had was when we did a meet our CEO. So we did a little post with our CEO's picture up on it, and that had the best reaction ever. We had a little, 10-second video that caught people's attention, but I think that one had like almost double of what we normally get for the number of people viewing it, and also the number of people clicking through and viewing Gary's profile, because that's what we had to for our call to action on it, was that the call to action then went to Gary's profile on LinkedIn so that people could go and look it up. But yeah, personal, definitely. People like to know who they're dealing with, who is in behind the company, um, I find, yeah, those really make nice, um, good posts, and they get a lot of traction as well. Um, One of the other things that we have is we have a lot of personal videos on the account as well. If you look at our past posts, you'll see a number of videos where I've, doing a Q&A kind of, or a quick information session on an item. But yeah, those are really good posts. I see Richard has put up a link on YouTube, so thank you very much, Richard, on how to create it. Oh, it's how to create a company page. Yes, great. All right, thank you very much for all the questions, everybody. We have just under 15 minutes left to go. What else would you like to know? What else would you like to take a look at? Is there anything you would like to see inside the accounts? I'll give you a little story while we're waiting for any questions. Back in 2019, I did a global sailing risk assessment. And for that, we reached out through LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram to see what would get traction. So we did basically the same posts all the way across all three. And for us, we actually found that Facebook did not give us any traction at all. Very little interaction on it. Instagram did really well for the sailing risk assessment. That was our main channel that we communicated with people. And LinkedIn did quite well for us as well. So that's one of the reasons why we actually kind of stopped posting on Facebook. We do a few posts maybe once a month, but that's about it. So question, thank you, Rachel, for this. At what point did you find it most beneficial to move from a free account to a paid account? Making that move to the paid account was based on, let's get serious about lead generation. This is what I want to do. And the only way to do that is to have a paid account. The limits that they've placed on LinkedIn as to how many messages you can look at, how many searches you can do. I mean, when I had a free account, if I wanted to search out people to connect with, usually by the third or the fourth day of the new month, I was already blocked on doing any more searches, because being on a free account, I didn't have access to the basically unlimited searches that I have with a paid account. Hopefully that answers your question, Rachel. But it's one thing to keep in mind is that, this is what I'm using LinkedIn for. I'm using it for lead generation. I find with LinkedIn, part of their algorithm, if you start liking a certain person's post, then it will show up more often in your feed when you go in and look at your LinkedIn every day or every week, depending on how often you're in there. And that's one way that you can get a lot of content that you're interested in, right? If you like all the people who are producing content that of what you're interested in, then that is the type of content that will start showing up more often in your feed. And it's almost a way of training your LinkedIn account to give you the feed of new posts that you're interested in. Any more questions? Oh, wait, here we go. So part of what you see on LinkedIn is organic impressions. You'll find the term on there. What this means is people have been, your post has gone into somebody's feed without being boosted, without being paid to go out there. So like all social media accounts, if you pay to boost your post, then it will go to a lot more people, and they track those impressions separately. So that's what it means by that term, is organic impressions, is that it has naturally gone out and it was not artificially boosted by paying to boost it. So thank you, Richard, for that one. Tiffany? Oh, wait, we're going to have another question, I think, maybe.
We did just get another question from Kim. When it says views, how is that measured? Do you know, Kellen?
Or for videos, views is measured by anybody who sees your video for more than 3 seconds. And I believe it is the same, or a similar metric for if somebody's scrolling through their phone and their post goes up the screen and you see it, you don't actually have to stop on it. Sometimes they will count that as a view, how many times somebody passed by your post that you did, and that's what they mean by number of impressions. Hopefully that answers the question.
Really good questions. Excellent. Thank you so much, Kellen. We appreciate you. I think we just got another one come in here. Do postings from your company page show up on your personal page?
Oh, that's another good question. Yes, they do not show up on your personal page unless you share them. And by doing that, by taking a post from your company page and sharing it to your personal page, boosts your engagement numbers on the company page. So it's always a good idea if you have a bunch of employees, the more you can get to share that post from your company page onto their personal pages, that boosts it out even more. It makes your post do much better. So thank you, Richard, for that question.
Can you share a business post to your own personal page?
Yeah, that's you go in, it's the 3 dots on the post over, usually in the corner on the top right hand side. You click on that. One of the options is copy the link, and so you copy that link, go on to your personal page and create a new post, paste that link in there, and it will appear. And that's how you can go back and forth between your personal pages and your company pages. And it all helps with the analytics and sharing of that post. It really boosts the engagement, is what it's boosting, and LinkedIn sees those engagement numbers and says, yes, let's spread this around some more.
You can find Kellen on LinkedIn if you end up having a question afterwards.
Yeah, I'm pretty easy once I'm connected with somebody.
Yeah, right? Excellent. Make sure you follow rPM3 Solutions on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Connect with each other, especially chamber members. You know, we're a big community. Support each other, share each other's posts, all that kind of good stuff. So thank you so much for coming on today, Kelland. It's kind of nice to have a different perspective on LinkedIn from just, you know, a regular business person who worked hard to build their account. So we appreciate you. We appreciate everything that you've shared. Again, make sure you reach out, connect with Kelland, support each other. That being said, just a couple things before I let you go today. The Business Excellence Awards nominations have been open, and they close on June 23rd. So if you know a good business person, a wonderful business, business citizens, tourism, green initiatives, you name it, we have a category for them all. Go to excellencepeterborough.ca. June 23rd is the cutoff. Please, I challenge all of you, go and nominate a business. Show it's time to rally behind our local businesses, and the Excellence Awards are a great way to do that. The Senior Showcase is on this month, the entire month of June. We've got a whole slew of workshops, exhibitor profile videos. There's even a panel discussion on transportation. There's a digital offerings page with a bunch of coupons. If there is a senior in your life that could benefit from the information, from the access, go to peterboroughchamber.ca, click on Senior Showcase, and check out the Peterborough Chamber of Commerce calendar while you are there. The next event we have coming up is going to be July the 6th. On Tuesday is our Peterborough Business Exchange. That's when we come on Zoom, and we'll do some breakout rooms, do some one-on-one. You don't have to be a chamber member to attend that event, but we encourage all businesses to join the chamber because we help strengthen business, help strengthen the community, give access, information, professional development, our advocacy work, you name it. If you have a question, reach out to me, Tiffany, Peterborough Chamber of Commerce. Again, thank you so much for joining us today, Kelland, and thank you everyone for joining us in the crowd. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Enjoy your lunch.